I've got chocolate on my face. Is that chocolate? It is. How embarrassing. Brilliant. I've been walking around like that all day. I'm wearing a non-denominal colour for this video, just so that I don't, look biased or anything, but today we're going to be talking about Hogwarts houses. Raise your hand if you know what Pottermore is. Me? Okay, cool, you're all up to speed. If you don't know what Pottermore is a website created by J.K. Rowling, which is basically a cave of Harry Potter magic. It's too much to explain, but basically one of the things included in the Pottermore website is the sorting hat quiz. And at first, when this first came out, everyone was really really excited but kind of dubious, because they were like, how can a quiz determine what house you're in? Surely it's just 4 answers per question and then there's an obvious answer for oh, this answer is Hufflepuff, this answer is Ravenclaw. No, it's actually a very complex quiz, very interesting, and every time I've taken it, it's been slightly different, which I like. So basically it's questions like, look at this image, and it'll be a beach, a forest and a castle, and it'll be which one do you go to? And I'm ooh, this one, and then it somehow calculates whether you're Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor or Slytherin. It's very exciting. I love it. I've taken it 4 times now, so just goes to show how good it is. My conundrum is that I have been sorted into 3 separate houses on 3 different occasions. How, you may ask? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Basically, when Pottermore first came out, I was 16. Oh my god, that was so long ago. Anyway, I was 16 years old. This is about 4.5 years ago now, and the final movie had just finished. It had just premiered, everyone was crying and really upset and oh no, the Harry Potter fandom is over, it'll never be over. And then Pottermore arrived and we were yes, more Harry Potter stuff. So I very excitedly took the quiz, not knowing what I would be. Actually, I think I did know what I was going to be, but I was trying to take a step back and just be really honest when answering the questions. Tried to be as genuine as I could. I honestly spent maybe about an hour and a half answering about, I think it's 20 to 30 questions, because I was I need to make sure that what I'm choosing is what I would actually do and not just what I would like to think I'd do. I was I must make sure I answer the questions correctly so I get sorted into the right house. And kind of unsurprisingly, I got put in Hufflepuff, which are fierce friends, loyal people, kind, patient. I just think they're all around brilliant. Sometimes they get a bit of stick for being dumb or ditzy or whatever, which I think, I'll admit, I kind of was back then. But I was okay with that. Obviously as a Hufflepuff, I didn't care what people thought about me. I just wanted to spread the love. So yeah, that house made so much sense at the age of 16. Fast forward a year and a half, I've just moved from Essex to Cardiff. I'm suddenly at this new and exciting school that promotes education and working hard. And I'm wow, this is so exciting. I love my life. I go to log into Pottermore and then I realise I've forgotten my username and my password because I haven't been on it for so long. And I was oh my god, what do I do? I know, I'll just create a new account. But creating a new account means you have to go through the sorting quiz again. So I went through it all again, being oh, I'll just do it really quick, I'll get into Hufflepuff again, it'll all be fine, then I'll be at the same stage, boom, done. So I was answering all the questions yep, got it, this is what I do, that's what I do. Probably took it in about half an hour this time rather than an hour and a half. And I got Ravenclaw, and I was kind of upset at first. I was whoa. What's happened? I'm not a Hufflepuff anymore? I'm not bubbly and sweet and loyal? What's happened? I had a bit of an identity crisis, basically. But then when I stepped back for a second, I was it kind of makes sense. You know, as a teenager, I'm young and impressionable. I've moved to a new school where everyone promotes being intelligent and witty. And I suppose being around so many intelligent, witty people, they just rubbed off on me. And I was okay, I think I'm cool with being Ravenclaw. I was yeah, okay, I can get into this. So I was right, I'm a Ravenclaw, cool. The story does not end here. Fast forward another year and I was suddenly on my unplanned gap year. If you don't know about this, basically the first time I attempted to go to uni, I decided it wasn't for me, and then I had an unplanned gap year by November. So I was oh, what do I do with my life? And it became very confusing and very emotionally difficult. I suppose my identity became a little bit unstable then, and during this time I once again turned to Harry Potter for comfort, logging into Pottermore. Oh, I've forgotten my password again. So I created a new account and took the quiz, and at this point I was I wonder if I'll be Ravenclaw again, because I'd already had my identity changed the last time I did it, so I was like, what's gonna happen? Needless to say, I answered all the questions as honestly as I would usually do. And also, I'd like to reiterate here that every time I took the quiz, it was slightly different. So it wasn't like I could just be like, ooh, I'll choose this option again. I'll choose this option again. Also, I'd forgotten what the option that I chose was the time before because it had been so long since I'd done it. So anyway, honestly answering the quiz, and I get Slytherin. And I'm like, what? Because my entire life, up until the age of 16, I'd always kind of been the Hufflepuff. Like the bubbly, ditzy, silly girl. Everyone's like, oh, you're so nice. But that was it. You know, I was nice and loyal and patient. Ooh, good for me. I do love Hufflepuffs, by the way. I do still deeply identify with them, but like, at the time I was like, why am I not Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw? I've gone so far from one end of the spectrum to the other, and my identity just went poof and exploded. I think I was 18 and a half at this point, so not the best time to be discovering that you've gone from Hufflepuff to Slytherin in the space of like 2.5 years. And I was like, why has this happened to me? This is terrible, I'm a Slytherin? Anyway, I had the same crisis that I had when I found out I was Ravenclaw. And then slowly, after a while, I started to see the benefits of being a Slytherin. We're ambitious, we're self-preserving, we just want to be the best we can be. It's all very confusing. Side note, since then, I've taken the test again. I think this time about 6 months ago, and I got Hufflepuff. So who frickin' knows what I am? I'm some weird sort of hybrid that I like to call Slither Ravenpuff, because clearly I have attributes of all the houses, bar Gryffindor, in me. And that's my conundrum. I'm not sure whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. So that's my story. And basically the reason I'm making this video is because I'm starting to think, like, are houses a good idea? Think about it this way. I changed house 4 times in 4 years, right? Between the ages of 16 and 20. Imagine if you were 11 years old. 11! You don't even know what your favourite flavour of ice cream is at 11. And this sorting hat puts you into a house. It's almost like getting put into a box. And you're like, okay, now I have to be the brave, courageous person. Okay, that's just who I'll be for the rest of my life. What if, at the age of 13, you suddenly realise that you'd rather be ambitious and, you know, more Slytherin-like, and you're like, whoa, wait, I thought I was Gryffindor, but now I'm Slytherin. Ah, everyone in Gryffindor will now hate me. Everyone in Slytherin won't like me either because I was a Gryffindor, but I feel like a Slytherin. It's almost damaging in a way. But before I get loads of comments being like, oh, you're so mean, J.K. Rowling's amazing, houses are the best, I will agree. I think the point of houses is not to limit us, but to bring out the good attributes of us. Because nobody ever says the bad attributes of Hufflepuff. You know, I'm going to tell you a bad attribute of Hufflepuff. I think a bad attribute of Hufflepuff is maybe the idea that we're fierce and we're loyal, but if someone is personally hurting us, we won't do anything about it. We'll just brush it off and be like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Even if it is hurting us, and even if that person is doing a bad thing, we'll just step back and leave it alone rather than confronting them and being like, hey, I think what you're doing is wrong. So that's maybe a bad thing about Hufflepuff. But I could tell you a bad attribute of every house, but that's not what I'm here to do. I think what I'm trying to say is that it's interesting that I have so many attributes of different houses. And I'm sure lots of other people have different attributes of different houses but don't know it because they've only taken the quiz once, you know? And I'm not saying that if you do take the quiz more than once and you get Slytherin every time, that you're a bad, narrow-minded person. That's not what I'm saying. If anything, props to you because you're, like, stable. You're not, like, loosey-goosey like me. I'm all over the place. But what was the point of this video? I think maybe instead of making an argument, I'm extending a conversation. Like, what do you think? Do you think that being in one house and having one identity is a bad thing? Like one fixed identity? Or do you think picking and choosing is better? Or is picking and choosing almost like greedy? Like, oh, you can't be in 3 houses. That's ridiculous. I think I'm still having a bit of an identity crisis about this, but I'm not quite sure. I just would like to have a conversation with people about it. Right. If nothing else, just comment your house down below. That would be fun. See, like, what everyone is. I mean, I would happily say that I'm a Slither Ravenpuff, but I'm more likely to identify with Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw on a regular basis. Occasionally I'll like bring my Slytherin side out if I need it, but I'm a bit more Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw than anything else. What about you? How many people from each house we have? That's actually very interesting. Seeing as I'm a mix of 3 houses, does that mean that I am more likely to have viewers that are in those houses? If you're a Gryffindor, comment down below. I'd love to know. That's my thought of the day. I'm very, very hyper because I've been reading all day in a cafe, and then I came home and then I was like, I have more work to do. Brilliant. Cool. Anyway, uni's going fine. I'm gonna go and read now. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I've had a good day. I hope your day is as good as it can be, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye! I'm so breathless. Can you imagine if someone was downstairs and I didn't know? Just like listening to me, shouting at a camera. That's a weird thought.